WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place. I'm JR. In this computer love episode, because I feel like we're not going to come up with a good title for it, but we'll just run with computer love because it makes sense. And we'll just do different little computer screens and work it out. And y'all will enjoy it, I hope. And if you don't enjoy it, then you know what to do. Now, the final portion of this, I'm not going to talk about Snapchat or anything else that comes out after this, because Instagram is the social media that started this liking for me. I mean, we always had a like button, but you would heart stuff on Instagram. I mean, on Facebook and stuff, but Instagram was photos. And the power of a photo is in the eyes of the person that looks at that photo. And when you look at that photo, you got to do a lot of hard thinking on what you're going to do if you press that like button or if you make a comment. And on Instagram, you have to be very careful because it's an open arena. What you think you're doing, you may not even be doing. While you're thinking you're laughing and pressing and doing whatever you're doing for someone, there's another person in the background watching what you're doing it even better. So my story of Instagram is like this. Instagram got big with me in the instance that when me and my baby's mama, we separated because of certain reasons. And I found posting pictures and getting likes and then seeing who liked my stuff kind of opened doors to, oh, I might have a chance with this person. Now, mind you, if I had been staying in a relationship with her, I would never have an Instagram story because my Instagram story is like 2015. So that's how it goes. I jump on Instagram the first minute I'm single and I announce that I'm single. And that joint lights up like a disco ball. I was like Paul Wall, the people's champ. My chain was lighting up because I was back in the single house. And being there was an arena that I hadn't been in so long. So I had to talk to my single friends, which I talk to males and females and everybody else because we don't want to leave nobody out. And I was told this, be careful because it goes down in the DMs. And I was like, what the fuck are the DMs? And then I was brought up to speed. The DMs it's direct messaging. It's a quick way to send a message. It was the same format I had on Facebook, MySpace, but it was quick. You could take the messages away, or you can make them disappear. You could do whatever you wanted. Send a picture, they can only look at it for a few seconds and then go away. So this is how these thirst traps got started. This is how these dudes and everybody else got caught up, because they would holler at something that's out of their range. And when I say out of your range, I'm not talking about looks. I'm just talking about, we all have categories of people that we want to date and mingle with. And then there's some people that are in our pay grade, and then there's some people that are above our pay grade. And if you disagree with that, you can disagree all day. But I want to say this. I knew my pay grade. I knew exactly where I belonged. And I knew that there were certain avenues that I wasn't going to go down, because if I wanted rejection, I could just go holler at a 10 and just get rejected. You know, if I wanted that in my life, I would do that. And I'm not taking away from anybody or saying anything about looks. When I say 10, that could be personality, looks, or anything. So let's just leave that part alone, because don't want to raise any kind of ugly head with that. Now, getting back to Instagram. So I was taught about the DMs, and I was rolled around DMs, and I was on some online dating for a little bit. I was on that dirty app, Meet Me, and we'll leave that alone. I'm not going to even talk about that. If you want that, you got to hear that in the after hour show. But basically, on Instagram, I was a superstar. Like, I could post some pictures. I was showing what I was doing, because at that time I was working a job where I traveled. I work a job where I travel now. So the other job was just regional travel. I was all over West Virginia, hit the corner of Virginia, and then come back right back. So people were seeing, they were like, oh, he's of interest. And then I was doing a diddy bop, shaking my head, dancing the song, lip syncing, doing all the stuff that later on will become part of TikTok that I don't do now because I don't dance and do all that extra stuff now. I just literally do a podcast, do a few videos, do some spots about a fucking projector because I'm just trying to get people to like projectors, and you don't have to always buy one, and you don't always have to get one from Nebula. There's some good companies out there. Exgemi's a hell of a good company also. No knock at Nebula, but just saying what I'm going to say. Now here we go. So my first interaction in the DMs with somebody was someone that was out of my league. It was somebody that was up higher than me, I thought. And then I realized that, they had been, they're a used car. They've been around the block 3 times, had their heart broken, and we're out here being bitter. And they were just looking for some revenge. And then I realized that the one thing in this instance that I could not be part of that revenge. Because if you're part of somebody's revenge, man, all you're going to do is end up with a sad heartache, listening to some country music and singing, "There's a tear in my beer, 'cause I'm crying for my dear." Or you could even end up worse, And I didn't want to end up worse. I just wanted to be JR, a.k.a. James Bond, a.k.a. Futuristic Elroy Jetson, I didn't want to be that dude that's singing "Looking for Love" in all the wrong places, because I wasn't looking for love in the wrong places. I was just looking for a good time. So the good time came. And the thing about the Instagram time that I got out of there, I didn't like it because I got treated like a piece of meat. And in some instances, some people are like, "Oh, that's not cool. You should like being treated like a piece of meat." But I didn't want to be a weekend dude. I wanted some fun on the weekends, but I wanted someone to actually talk to during the weekend. Yeah, you can call me soft in the game like Loon or whoever else, but I'm going to say this. After learning that lesson, I learned a better way to handle my Instagram. Post pictures of scenery and things like that. Don't ever make the focus about me. Make it about the places that I am and where I'm going and the pursuit of happiness. And from that point on, I lived a happy life. I've had a great relationship since then. And that's the end of my computer love, because I had to turn that shit off. Because at the end of the day, all that computer love and all these facets of these things that I'm telling you about did nothing but hurt me. Left me scarred and left me bitter. Sitting on an iPad writing in Penza about how my heart was hurting in the summer of 2017. So on that note, I'm JR from West Virginia and Commonplace. And I'm sorry I kicked up that laugh, but it just sounded funny when I did that extra little voice. So like always, subscribe. Join the uncommon persuasion so that it becomes common for so many people. Signing off.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at onecommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.